This one has green.
Okay, so like I was saying, I assume does this work? Oh my goodness. Wait. Can you hear me? Okay, great, fantastic. Okay. Yeah, let's. Oh, sorry. All right, moving on to our Seatback. For Seatback, our main concern is packaging, packaging the driver and then packaging it within the car. So packaging our driver, we have to organize our cockpit to fit drivers ranging from the 5th percentile female to 95th percentile male. And they provide us the anthropometric data in a Percy model to help us with that. And then also we use driver feedback from the ergonomic rig that I mentioned. Yes. Percy is a fake dimensions of a 95th percentile male that help us know exactly like if we can fit it in the car. And then we also have to package our Seatback within the chassis and then in front of the fuel tank, the brake box, ECU, ABS, and some other things. So that's another consideration. Manufacturing for the Seatback looks a little bit like those top two pictures. We do a wet layup over some sort of mold. That was our mold from last year. And then also Seatback related things are like the headrest, the harness, the lap belt clevis, and the firewall. Last season and this season, our firewall is actually part of our Seatback. Our Seatback is our firewall, but some other teams choose to do it separately. So now moving on a little bit to our design process. Our team uses SolidWorks to model our parts and our CAD. And then we validate these parts using things like finite element analysis, systems like ANSYS. And then we also do physical testing and strain gauge testing, which you can see a picture of that. And then finally, the ergo rig that I've been talking about. And the ergo rig is meant to kind of quantify driver preferences. So we'll set up our drivers in a similar way to that you'll see in the picture, and then record their preferences for seat angle, steering wheel height, steering angle, throttle angle, etc. So that we can look at all the data and kind of figure out exactly what we want to use. When it comes to manufacturing, Cockpit has a pretty broad range of manufacturing. We have a pretty broad range of manufacturing. We deal with composites. We do wet layups for things like the Seatback, the heel tray, the headrest, steering wheel plate. But then we also do metal machining on mills and lathes and sheet metal benders and water jets. And then we use a CNC for things like the pedal tray and the lap belt clevis. So here in the pictures, you'll see the brake pedal and the brake tray. Those were CNC'd, and then that's Jacob using the CNC in the bottom. And then 3D printing for our steering wheel housing. Let's do that. So obviously, we're broken up into a bunch of systems, but we all work together. So for things like packaging, we have to work closely with chassis and brakes, fueling, intake, suspension. And then composite work, we work with chassis again, and then aerodynamics. And then obviously for things like our steering wheel and our steering column, and we'll work with electrical and controls. So one thing that I think makes Cockpit pretty unique is that we got a broad range of experience. We deal with things like structures, packaging. You saw that we have a wide range of manufacturing. We do mechanical design, systems integration. And I think since the system is broken up into some pretty clear subsystems, there's a lot of interesting projects and areas of focus, and you can find something that's interesting to you and you're really passionate about, and you can just start working on it. Mitchell can talk a little bit about this too if you want to ask him. He found his steering wheel project. He really focused in on that, and then he was able to make one of our best steering wheels in the team's history. Yeah. So that's all that I have. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know if anybody online had any questions about the slides they couldn't hear. I'm going to open up the chat window just in case. Yeah.
I saw there was like no pedal for the clutch, so like the lever, I guess, on the steering.
Oh yeah, we have a clutch handle. Let's go back. Yeah, we use a clutch handle, and then our clutch system just runs throughout the car.
What makes the Seatback a firewall in terms of materials?
Thank you, Vijay, for your question. So on the back of our Seatback layup, we use Kevlar, which is a fire-resistant material. So. If all is well, we'll go ahead and stop the recording. If you guys have any questions in the future, you can always reach out to me. Cockpit is looking for new members. Yeah.